Well, good morning, everyone. We are right at 8:30, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning and taking the time with us to preview our new business online banking platform. My name is Morgan Sutherland, and I lead our Business Solutions Group. And I'm joined today by Matt Key, who leads our support associates for many of the business online banking features you will see today. I'd like to mention we are going to record this call so that any others who were not able to attend this morning will be able to watch this, as well as we will have the link posted and we'll email it to all of you if you need to refer back to this video. The Q&A feature is available up top, so please feel free to type any questions that you have. And towards the end, we should have plenty of time to answer your questions. But as always, if you want to talk specifically about your account, want to go into a deeper dive, we're going to share our phone number at the end as well. We would love to speak with any of you, so please feel free to give us a call. But on Monday, November 4th, when you log into online banking, all users will have a new online experience. Before we take a look at the new system, I want to explain why we are making some improvements. Fidelity has always been and will always be committed to providing the best level of service from our associates. But we want to ensure that the technology matches what our business customers are looking for to manage their finances and daily operations. Our new online platform will provide new functionality such as Zelle for business accounts, intrabank transfers, which is a transfer from your business account into any other account holder here at Fidelity Bank. All businesses will have online wire submission. And if you utilize ACH, you have the access now to send an email notification to your recipient when the ACH batch has been processed. There's much more, very exciting, but those are just a few of the enhancements coming your way very soon. But you all were invited here this morning because you have something in common. You're all listed as the online administrator within business online banking, which means you have certain access that others may not, such as adding, editing, and deleting additional users. When you first log in on November 4th or soon after, you will need to reestablish your users' permissions so that they can continue to function the way they are today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Matt to unveil our new online banking platform, provide a brief tour, and walk through the administration function of reestablishing your users' permissions. Thank you, and take it away, Matt.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. I'm going to jump off camera here and share my screen with you. We can go ahead and get started. As Morgan mentioned, on November 4th, when you log in, you'll come to the fidelitybanknc.com homepage. The homepage itself is not changing, so that should look very, very familiar to you. When you do go to log in, this is where you're going to see the change. When you click on your login button, you will no longer have to choose Business Advantage from the drop-down. The username and password that you and your users use today will work on November 4th. So once you log in, you'll be taken to a home screen. On your home screen is your account summary, where you'll be able to see all of your accounts. In the Accounts tab up at the top, you can access your statements and notices, stop payments, and fraud prevention for those of you that have ACH filter and positive pay. When you click on fraud prevention, excuse me, it will load the normal positive pay and ACH filter view that you are used to seeing, so no changes there. In the transfers area, we have some exciting new options for you. One of them is external transfers, which allows you to transfer to your other accounts at other banks. And we also have intra-bank transfers. So if you have another business or somebody else that is a Fidelity Bank customer, you have the ability to send money directly to their account with their account information. We also have our payments option, which is where you're going to house your bill pay. So if you're using bill pay today, you'll go there. The cards section, if you have credit cards with Fidelity Bank, they will be housed here. You'll be able to access the cards, make payments, see activity, things like that. An exciting enhancement that we're bringing to businesses with this upgrade is Zelle for Business. So if you've never used that before, this is an exciting option for you. We also have ACH services. Those of you that use ACH today, please know that your ACH participants as well as your templates are all going to be carried over and be available for you on November 4th. So you don't have to re-enter anything there. It'll all be there for you. And an upgrade for those of you that don't currently use Wires is that Wires is going to be available for all businesses. So you'll have this option here that you can wire out money if you have a need to do so. But let's go take a look at how you would manage your users. Up at the top right, when you click on your name and go to settings, there's your options for users. When you get over here to the user section, you'll see the list of your users that you have today. As I mentioned, they'll be carried over, their username and passwords work like they work today. To manage your user, what you want to do is you want to click on the key icon, and you notice as I hover over it, it says Edit Entitlements. Once you get in here, you will have the option for your user of clicking over here beside where it says Entitlements, and it will automatically pull in all of the entitlements that your business currently has. So if you're going to be setting up a user that currently can do whatever they need to do with your institution or your company, you can come out here and just click Entitlements. If you do that, one thing I would like to point out to you is there is a section in here for Manage Users. This is what allows you as an administrator to be able to add and edit your users. So if you don't want your user to have that access, you would want to uncheck that button. I'm going to take a moment and we're going to go through each one of these sections here with you, just so you understand what is going on in these sections. In the accounts section, the transaction limits that you see here for $25,000, these are mobile deposit limits. So you have the ability to have your user be able to do a mobile deposit through the app up to $25,000, and you can always change that to give them less access if that's what you would like to do. One note here is if you don't want them to do any transactions for this, you want to put $0 in here. Risk management services, this is what allows your user to access ACH Filter and Positive Pay. So if you do utilize that service today and your user is responsible for taking care of that for you, you do want to be sure that that is checked. You also see the ACH section down here. We'll go into that in just a moment, but I wanted to take a minute and show you some of the other functions here. We have bill pay, we have the cards, and then we also have transfers. This transfer section is what allows you to do the intra-bank and external transfers, as well as your wires section. So for many of you, wires may be a new thing that you're using. If you don't want your sub-user to have access to that, it is as simple as unchecking the box beside wires, and that is removed from them. They won't even see the menu option. If you do have it checked, again, you can control the limits here. So they can have a lower limit if that's what they need. And you also have your Zelle entitlement down here. So if you don't want your user to use Zelle, again, you just uncheck the box and you leave it checked if they want it. And then down here at the bottom, you have your list of accounts. And as you can see, there's several options that you can give access to. For example, if you've got a user that needs to do bill pay on your main account, but you don't want them to have access to the others, you would uncheck bill pay. Once you've made all your selections, you come down here to the bottom and you click Save. At that point, your user's access is set up. The next time that they go to log into online banking, they will see the entitlements that you granted them. Let's go back up and take a look at that ACH section. If you have ACH and your user utilizes the ACH service, you do want to be sure that that box is checked for them. As you go down through here, there are a couple of options to be aware of. ACH pass-through is used if you're utilizing a notcha file. So if your user needs to be able to upload a notcha file, you want to enable that. Approve and reject is what allows your user to be an approver for the system. So if you have a dual control situation set up and that your user has approve and reject, that approver has that ability to approve transactions that they did not originate. They can only approve ones they did not originate. So we'll make sure we all understand that there. And then down in the initiate section, you'll see a list, and you see in this left column, it's got a limit. That is your company's limit. As the administrator, you have the option, as you have with the other options, to limit the amount that your user can do. And again, once you've made all these changes, you just go down here to the bottom and click Save. So that's entitling your user. I want to show you a couple of other great options that we have here. One of them is to add user. So as your business grows or you have people that change roles and you need to add a user, it is as simple as clicking the Add User button and filling out some profile details. As you can see here, some of these have an asterisk beside them. These are required fields. And I want to take just a moment and talk about username requirements and password requirements. For the username, it's important to remember that they are a minimum of 9 characters. They cannot include your user's first name, last name, date of birth, or social security number. For passwords, they need to be at least 9 characters, have 1 uppercase, 1 special character, as well as a number. The password that you put in here is temporary. The first time that your user goes to log in, they will be prompted to set their permanent password. And then you'll fill out first name, last name, mobile phone, which is a new option for us. As many of you may have seen in some of the communication, we are going to be moving to a multi-factor authentication system. What this does is this will allow your user, if they're using ACH or you're making profile changes, it's going to prompt you to get a code to your cell phone. So this is a required field for your users going forward. When you click Save, it takes you to the next screen, which looks like the one we just saw. That's where you're going to set your users' entitlements, just like we saw a moment ago. I do want to make a note about the editing a user. If you have a user that is coming to you and they are locked out of online banking, one of the great enhancements that we have is the ability for users to reset their own password using the Forgot Password link. So they can do that themselves without needing extra assistance. If they do need assistance, you have the option to help them with the edit pencil right here. I do want to note here that as usernames are being carried over from the current system to the new system, they are coming over as is. If you, as the administrator, need to edit a user, so if you need to add a mobile phone number, if you need to reset their password, or you have a user that needs to change their name for some reason, when you go in here to do this, the system is going to require that the username match the requirements that we talked about before. And again, that's a minimum of 9 characters. It cannot include their first name, their last name, date of birth, or social security number. In the example here on your screen, I got a little bit creative here, as you can tell. The name is familiar, but I shortened it and added a number in there to make it a little bit different, and the system will accept that as an option. Now I want to take a moment and I want to talk about our mobile experience. We've got some great enhancements that have come with our mobile application. Any of you that are used to using the Fidelity Bank business application now that has the silver bar on it, on November 4th, you want to remove that one from your phone, and you want to go out and you want to download the Fidelity Bank application. Your username and password will work there as well. And when you first come in here to the application, this is what you're going to see. And you will see the icon up at the top right, which is your menu button. From there, As an enhancement for those of you that use ACH Filter and Positive Pay, you have the ability to access the fraud prevention services from your mobile device. This will launch a browser with the Positive Pay and ACH Filter as you're used to seeing it today so that you can make your decisions on the go. You'll also have the ability to access your ACH, so your ACH participants, ACH templates. You can send transactions from here, as well as wire activity. And I know for the ACH, there's probably a lot of questions for those of you that are using the ACH. We are conducting several, or are creating several videos that go around how to walk through this, so be on the lookout for some more communication about that. But there are some exciting things coming with here. I hope you all are enjoying what you're seeing and will enjoy the new experience. And I'd like to take a moment right now to make sure and see that we are answering any questions that you have. So if you have any questions, again, there is that question Q&A box up at the top. So please feel free to utilize that. Also on here, I've got a website page, fidelitybanknc.com/digital-update. That website is on our website. When you first go to it, you click on that. There is a lot of information about what is coming. And so you'll be able to access that. And that is always in process and being updated, as well as our contact information. So as Morgan mentioned, if you get in there on November 4th and you have questions, or you want to kind of double check everything beforehand, please feel free to give us a call. We are here for you and we are happy to help. Our number is 855-547-1385. And let's take a moment and see if we have any questions.
Matt, it does look like we have a question that just came in. What does the new mobile app look like? Do we have a description, or will there be a picture that we can refer to for our customers of what the new app will look like?
Yes, so today the app will look similar to what it looks like today. It'll be the blue background with the Fidelity F logo on it.
And while you're looking for that, Matt, a new question came in. Will the new card section replace SpinTrack? It will not replace SpinTrack. It will actually connect to SpinTrack so that when you click on cards, it will load the SpinTrack application so that you can manage all of your cards in that section. One thing that I did want to mention, and Matt, you had touched on, was putting in phone numbers into the system. So for those of you today who are using ACH or plan to use the online wire application, the tokens, you may have heard us refer to tokens today, soft tokens and hard tokens, those are actually going away and will be discontinued. The new process will be the multi-factor authentication. That can be a text to a mobile device, but it also can work with a phone number like a landline. So if someone wants to put in their office number, what will happen is, say they go to process a wire or an ACH, the phone will ring, it will be an automated call, and they'll have a number that will be verbally given to them over the phone. They will type that number in on the screen, and that will confirm the security and pass it into the next step. So I just want to mention a little more about that. Okay, there is a question, Matt, out there. Our office uses QuickBooks. When will we reconnect after 11/12? Will all the data come back?
Yes, so with QuickBooks, when you disconnect on the 1st, the data that you already have in there will still be available for you. That information will stay in there. Between November 1st and November 12th, in online banking, you have the option to manually download a QBO file and upload that into QuickBooks so you can keep your accounting up to date. And then on November 12th, QuickBooks is going to turn back on the connection so you can log in and get it back to your normal automatic updates as you have it today.
And it looks like we had another question. Is the new app for Fidelity Bank Business app or just the regular app? Matt, can you clarify? It's just one app moving forward for all users. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we, in today's environment, business and personal are a little bit more separated. In this new environment, everybody is in the same area. So there is just one app that you need to utilize. And as I mentioned before, you don't have to do that drop down anymore, which is a great thing for a lot of folks as well.
Perfect. And there's another question. All users may have access to the app or just the administrator. Great question. All users. So as long as they have a username and password, they can download the Fidelity Bank app and get logged in. Matt, there's a question. Exactly what will we have to do on 11/4? And sorry, before we go into that question, it looks like there's the app on the screen of what it will look like. So it does not have the business, as Matt mentioned, down the side anymore. It's just a plain Fidelity Bank app.
And then I also want to show when you go to log in, your login screen will look like this.
So Matt, the question, what exactly will we have to do on 11/4? So on 11/4, as the online administrator, if you have other users within your organization that have access to online banking, you will want to go log in and up at the top right, click on your name and go down to users. Under users, that's where you'll reestablish their permissions. So if they have view only access, if there's certain accounts of yours that they can access, if you all have ACH today and you want a user to still have ACH, you'll want to reestablish their connections. Matt, myself, and our entire team will be on standby the first week, 2 weeks after this. So feel free, if you stumble on any areas, we can quickly join in on the computer with you. We can remote in and help you reestablish those connections.
And I see a question here. Is it possible that we already have the new app? It is not possible that you have the new app at this particular moment. On November 4th, we will be pushing the new app out into your app stores. So you will want to do that on November 4th. Let's see. So another question I see out here, can you touch on the new QuickBooks features? QuickBooks itself is not changing. It's the way you're connecting to QuickBooks is what is going to be a little bit different here. Today, when you go to connect from your Business Advantage login, you look for FidelityBankNC.com Business Advantage. That will no longer work on November 12th. On November 12th, you're going to want to look for simply Fidelity Bank. This is another example where we've brought everything together into one platform so that it's easier to use. So that will be one thing you'll look for on the 12th. Yes, on the 12th. I see a question out here with Positive Pay. Will we still be able to upload an issue file? Yes, you will. The fraud prevention piece, if you have already been trained on it, that piece stays the way that it is. The only thing that is changing is how you would access it. So you would go to that accounts menu and then click on fraud prevention. When it launches into a new window, it will look exactly like it does today, as well as function like it does today. So if you're uploading an issue file today, you will still be able to do that in the future.
And all data will carry over. So any checks that you've already uploaded will carry over, as well as if you're using ACH filter, any that are on your approved list will also be there for you on day one.
And I see somebody asking about the DigiPass app. So the DigiPass app is what we call our soft token today. That will go away on November 4th. So on November 4th, you can delete that app. You won't be needing that anymore. The multi-factor authentication that sends a code to your phone will be replacing that application. Let's see, I'm going through some of the questions here.
There's a question, Matt, how will the user account used to connect the accounting system with the bank work with the new 2FA? Is that the multi-factor authentication?
Two-factor authentication. Yeah, it'll work like it does today. Like when you go in to log into those third-party systems, it'll still prompt you for a code, and you would put that code in from your phone, and then that'll make the connection. Question here, will we have different username and password for different accounts? I guess, for example, business and personal. Yes, for this new system, since we are all in the same space, if you have a personal account with Fidelity Bank, you would have a personal login, and then if you have a business account, you have a business login. Now, we do have some options that you can talk about with your bankers if you want to talk about potentially trying to combine those. I would encourage you to reach out to your banker and kind of talk through that if that's something you're interested in doing.
And one thing, Matt, if you do today log in and you can see your business accounts and your personal in one place, that will carry over so that you can continue to log in and see everything in one place.
Correct. Yes. And as that, with that, again, as you're going in on November 4th, if you do have personal accounts for yourself that are available, that is one of those that you want to be sure as you get down to the bottom that you're turning that off for your users if you don't want them to see your personal account. Question, will we get a cheat sheet of all the tips and tricks to prompt us on the QuickBooks, ACH, etc.? Yes, on the website, there is that link to the, let me go back to it here. On the website, where it says coming soon, a new mobile and online banking experience, when you click on learn more, this will launch a page that gives you a lot of details about what's coming, as well as has a frequently asked questions that we are constantly updating for you. Under system features, you can go specifically to business online banking, and there will be some information out there about what is new, some frequently asked questions about, how do I disconnect or reconnect my QuickBooks? Things like that will be available out here. Again, like we've mentioned before, if you do get into one of those situations and maybe you can't find what you're looking for, please give us a call. We are more than happy to walk through that with you, share a screen, do whatever we need to do to answer your questions.
Matt, there's a question. Why reestablish the current user settings? Why can't the current settings move over with the new platform? It's a great question, and we did our best. We wanted everything to transfer over seamlessly for our customers. This is one area where the old system and the new system, the settings don't really correspond and talk to one another very well. And so instead of trying our best to guess exactly what a business wanted each user to do, unfortunately, that is one of the lifts that has to be done at the very beginning. But I will say again, if you run into any situation where you need help, we will all be right available. And there's a great new tool that we have where we can quickly remote into the computer with you and just say, click here, go there, and set up, reestablish those users. Will web capture work the same for depositing checks? It's another question. Is that in regards to, and Matt, maybe, I'm not sure if this is a remote deposit or a mobile deposit
So if it is
question.
if it is a remote deposit, that system is not changing. You would still access it. It'll look like it looks today. You would process checks like you do today. If you're referring to mobile deposit, that does look a little bit different. But it's going to be the same, where you take a picture of the front and the back of the check. You have to write your verbiage on the back to show, that you're depositing it mobile at Fidelity Bank, things like that.
There's a question about how many wire transfers are we allowed per month, and are we charged for wire transfers? So it really depends on your account that you're in. Some accounts, for example, our Advantage account does have a number of wires that are allowed at no cost per month if you process them online. But the best thing there to do is to speak with your banker at your local branch to talk about the account type you're in. If you're not in an account type that allows for the free transfers, there is a $15 per wire outgoing charge.
And there's really not a maximum you're allowed to send per month. It's really kind of driven by, your balance. You can send up to your balance, whether that is one wire or 50 wires.
Now we've got a direct connect question with QuickBooks. Will the bill pay and transfer funds within QuickBooks now work in the new system?
That is not so QuickBooks is responsible for that piece of the connection. My understanding right now is that is not going to be coming with that QuickBooks connection.
Okay. And we have reached the end of our questions, and great timing. We're right at 9 o'clock. But as mentioned, you've got our contact information. Please reach out if you have any specific questions. This has been recorded. We will be posting this shortly to the digital update page that Matt showed you, and we will make sure that everyone receives an email with that link so you can refer to this video and many others that we will soon be posting, such as ACH, online wires, and fraud prevention. So thank you so much for attending this morning. We look forward to working with you, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being our customers here at Fidelity Bank, and look forward to talking with you soon.